Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's Ceri the Crafter, and today I'm here with a very definite follow-up video. Now, last month I told you I was going to transfer my stencils into a 12 by 12, well this is a bit bigger than a 12, it's 12 that way, a bit bigger this way, scrapbook for storage, just as an experiment because I was stumbling over, my storage wasn't working for me. Now what I'm going to do is the first video where everything is described, all my reasoning and measurements and everything, that is going to be linked in the description box below. And in that video, I'll actually link this one back again. So if you go to one, you can always find the other one. But before we go through this, let me show you what I have gained. Then I'll do a complete flip through and I'll explain my concerns, not concerns, things I found out, things I didn't find out, just so you know. Okay, first off, I had to take pages out of that or else it would have been hugely alligator mouth, and I always knew I was going to have to take pages out. But the benefit was that was an inexpensive 12 by 12. I think I picked it up in a thrift or a charity store, and what it means is once I took the pages out, I actually ended up with spare 12 by 12s, and I've already used 4 or 5 of these in printing as well. So besides getting my new storage unit system, I actually ended up with 12 by 12 cardstock. Loving that. Now, what did I gain by moving this stuff over to the new style folder? Well, this is my ring binder. This used to be full. As you can see, it's now very near empty. There's a few in here that I haven't quite got around to deciding how to group them. But when you reckon that's not a lot left in there, and I am going to get another one of the scrapbooks and actually make a second one because my supply of stencils and masks will always grow because there's something I really love doing, to the point where I've already bought. And I did buy this one, it was on sale in my local Hobbycraft. I bought another one which I'm going to now start transferring my designs into because currently they're all in the file folders and I'm having the same issue there. Now something I did discover, which you'll note from the first video, is in the first video I described the description of the scrapbook as being 12 inches by, I can't remember how wide was it, let me just get a ruler on this. Okay, the original one was 12 inches tall by 13 inches wide, which is this wide. And I thought I had to have the wider ones because some of my stencils were 12 inches wide. Obviously, I was wrong because I would be putting them into this portrait mode, so then they would slip in this way. So therefore, I don't need the bigger one. So I could use any 12 by 12 scrapbook. So I'm going to use this one for my personal designs, which I'm really excited about. Now, besides gaining the ring binder, every one of these represents at least 1 or 2 stencils that came out of that folder and into the new scrapbook system. And every one of these is a file folder that is now empty that will be recycled into something else. So between these and the ring binder, I've gained quite a bit of space. So let's go on to what I did. Now, this is cinch binding. You've probably seen it on journals and notebooks and address books and that in stationery stores. I have one of these that does binding. I don't use it on screen because I'm not very good at it, and there are plenty of them out there. If you look at cinch, C-I-N-C-H, binding, there's a small version, there's a big version. You can do it yourself. I do it occasionally, except I'm not comfortable doing it on screen because I'm not very good at it. Now, I do know overuse, sometimes these tend to open up a bit. You can always pinch them shut with your fingers. If it becomes an issue, I can always get some of these which are like a split ring, and I can just take the spiral off and put them in. So I have a backup plan. I don't think I'm going to need it, but I've got it on the go anyway. So let's have a quick flip through and we can see what I did and the reasons I did it and what I like about it. I'm not going to get this all on the screen because it's 26 inches wide. So each of the pockets I put in, I put the picture of what it was because when you order from PM Artist Studio, they send you a smaller version as an image plus a title. So by putting these in here, I know at a glance, I don't have to pull a stencil out. I can look and go, right, that's what the result is by using these. That was really exciting, having a reference point. As you can see, I did the bigger ones on the right hand side because the pocket was lower. Again, at a glance, I can just fold these down. I can see all the designs that are in this double spread, and I'm quite happy. These are Darcy Sanders. I did keep the designers to a page. So as you can see, I've kept all of the names down here. Because of my OCD and because of the way I am, I thought I'd have a pocket here and a pocket here on each of the double page spreads. I soon realized, and you'll see in a bit, that I actually did change that up a bit. And for the next time I do it, I would change it further. I was trying to reduce the bulk because if I had this pocket and this pocket both in line, that's 2 more layers of pocket plus the stuff in it, whereas this equally distributed it. So this is Rhonda Donar's page, as you can see. So I do like this. Another concern I had was if it's more of a filigree type stencil, when you close the pages, would they knit together? I think when you close the pages on one of these, you just make sure that you do it flat, smooth your hand under, it should be fine. Worst case scenario, I could actually just glue in place here a piece of freezer paper, a piece of wax paper, a bit of tracing paper to lay over the top, and they would never bind together. I don't think it's an issue. Eddie, sorry, I've only got the 2 of yours. I thought I had more of yours. I need to go through my stash to find out what I do, but I think I've got more of your stamps than I do of your stencils. Like to this, I always like using mandalas, but the trouble is I can never remember what they look like when they're stenciled out. So it's good to actually be able to see them. I do have more mandalas to put in here. I just haven't got round to doing it because I was eager to share with you that I'm beginning to like this system. Also, it'll only take up about this much room on my bookshelf, whereas the other one alone was that wide. Plus, I was having to put in the file folder separately. So again, as you can see, all the designs are there. I've always put the logo of who the designer is. So if it's a PM Artist Studio one, this whole double page spread is PM Artist Studio. As you saw, I've lost him. Where have you gone? Like with Eddie, this is Eddie, but this whole thing, it means I can add to it. There is more that can go in here, so I'm quite happy about it. It's something that can grow with me. Again, even with these really mesh ones, the one thing I would say is when you put stuff in and out the pocket, take the whole contents of the pocket out and then put the whole contents of the pocket in one go. If you position it right, in one go. That way they don't catch up on each other. With the smaller things like ATCs, later on you'll see I changed how I did this. I just haven't updated this spread yet. So where did I get up to? Right, I'm going to quickly flick through a bit more because it's the same process all the way through except here. Here I decided to put a little pocket in for ATCs. So I've got all 9 of them here in this one little pocket. So it could be that maybe this page in the new one is actually 4 of these smaller pockets instead of a long one and a short one. Something I did realize is even though a stencil is 12 inches tall, some of them are taller than 12 inches. So they will go over the top, but is that sticking out of the top of the file folder? As long as when I put it on the bookshelf is taller than 12 inches, I should be fine. It'll be something I'm aware of. Okay, Paula Keane, her designs. Some of her designs are actually quite fragile. So I decided I was going to keep them in a wax paper bag and then put the wax paper bag in there. So, as you can see, going ahead, and I did the same with Fran's turtles because they're a bit delicate, so I wanted to put those in there. I kept things as safe as I could. This one, I only needed one side, but then I do have other stencils that can go into this side for PM Artist Studio. I still have a blank. In fact, I think I've got a blank and a half. I came in here and these were just 5x7s. They're all just standalone designs. So putting them in here was really helpful. And then when it came to the smaller stuff, like butterflies and dragonflies and these pages weren't pre-pocketed. So I've actually put the stuff in here, and stuff like the smaller ones always goes into a little envelope, and I slide that envelope in there to save them. These are the ones I was slightly concerned that they may get caught up on each other. So by putting the envelope over the top that contains the small pieces, you limit that danger happening, and I'll also take care to do that. And on to the end, I've got some in here that are just random, that didn't fit anywhere else. I'm happy with that, guys. I'm really happy. It was an experiment I was pleased to do. Just caught that with my fingers. Experiment that I was pleased to do. Now, when it comes to this back page, for me, I think I'm always going to have to close the back, then turn it over. So when you reckon this is only this wide, okay, at its widest point, it's only what? Probably about 1.5 inches. And I saved that much space, which was 3 inches, plus all of the rest of the stuff. So I'm classing this as a good result. For me personally, I'm not saying do this. I'm saying take the findings and see whether it works for you. I can fit these onto my shelf quite easily. And by using these, I can probably condense, well, I've got 3 of those ring binders. So let's do the math. I can condense about 10 inches wide of space down to at least half of that. So I'm classing that as a good result, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. It was a little bit of a storage experiment from me, but I enjoyed it. I think it worked. Only time will tell. I will find out well, time will tell, because I don't know whether it's going to work 100%, but I think it's going to be better for me because it means I can flick through and select instead of pulling file folders out and using pocket protectors. And what happens is I only get so far in the folder and I choose one, but I don't get to the ones at the back. This way, what I can do is, with the scrapbook version, it does mean that because they're always in the same order, I'll probably remember where they are and I'll be able to locate them quicker. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. As I said, a quick video for me, just to follow up, just to give you the results of my finding. I'll probably revisit this sort of thing in future videos just to tell you how it's working for me, but I think it's going to be okay because the type of stencils I'm using are not flimsy. They're actually, good grief, what's the word? I can't remember what they're made of. Sorry, my brain is shut down on me. However, those sort of stencils, one second, I might be able to find out. Let's have a look. I can never remember what they're called. Yupo. The Yupo stencils are a little more robust than those flimsy plastic ones you get. So they tend to support themselves within the pockets. And because the pockets are of a certain depth, they're fine. So enough of me gossiping. I've got to go on with the day, and I'm sure you too do as well. So I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.